Hey, we're back. We made it to a third installment
Yeah.
of Founder Chat. Got my
Oh, you got your
Ember cup here, keeping my
smart
my
mug.
latte warm here.
I like it.
What's happened in a matter of a week?
Let's see. Well,
Super Bowl.
big one was Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's pretty.
What was your biggest
pretty
takeaway
epic.
besides the epic halftime show?
Well, let me think. I think the fact that the Rams pulled it off was pretty epic.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just one of those classic sort of like it was meant to be kind of feelings. Like you're almost like they better win it. And I mean, how many times did they get to in the red zone? Like they got like 8 tries to score that last touchdown. So, it worked out.
Yeah. And then being at home and just all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Well,
seemed-
and I don't know if you heard fireworks and stuff go off
Yeah.
afterwards, and it was pretty cool.
yeah, it was pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And then I guess Snoop's from Inglewood or whatever, like
Yeah, Dr. Dre and all those guys.
so it's like just the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It was pretty awesome to see. A lot of hometown pride.
Yeah.
And I think too what's cool is like just that music in general in terms of like a game. It's kind of, I don't know, it's just fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. But we've been watching a bunch of TikToks where the enthusiasm for hip hop is not appreciated by all.
Yeah, no, the videos are hilarious.
Yeah.
It's mostly people filming their parents or
Yeah.
older relatives
Yeah.
during the halftime show.
Yeah.
It's
My dad said the same thing when he was he didn't
like,
really dig that.
Would you say it's not for you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
you don't
no,
want to
it's-
just not
yeah.
care too much.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Yeah.
Got us listening to Dr. Dre here
Yeah.
yesterday, and then quickly realized how much cursing is in
Oh yeah.
his music, so we had to like turn it off.
But
it's
it's
because
a little
it's
distracting.
yeah, but it's because it's been so long that you just like you hear a hit and you're like
Oh yeah.
transports you right back.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
man, those are like pretty much every song that was sung, with the exception of maybe the Mary J. Blige, which I never really listened to that much.
Mhm.
I feel like those are just, you can listen to that anytime,
Yeah.
like timeless
Timeless.
bops. They just like
Yeah.
you hear it, you're like, all right,
Yeah.
get hyped up.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
It
I
was
like the
really
way they
cool.
set up like the neighborhood and
Yeah.
the whole thing. The visuals are great.
Yeah. Without being too crazy, you
Yeah.
know, like, there's, I thought it was kind of tame in that regard. Like sometimes they have like 100 people on this,
Yeah.
and a bunch of smoke and stuff going off. This is just like straight up having a good time. Felt like even the way they had people out, it sort of felt like a house party, It
Yeah,
just
exactly.
It kind of felt sort of low key in a
Uh-huh.
way. So I kind of like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Perfect segue. Coinbase Wins.
Yes,
The commercial wars.
dude. So good.
Dude, and the first, did it come out more than once?
No.
No, it was just the one time,
Once.
right?
It was a 60-second buy.
That's
they
what it
got.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
So it
second I
stayed
saw
up
it,
there.
everybody pulled out their phone.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Like, fumble.
Yeah.
And everybody. And then
Yeah.
right away, oh, shoot, it's Coinbase.
Yeah. It was it was so successful it crashed their server.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah.
just everything about it was genius.
Genius. And I mean the production value is pennies. I mean
Nothing.
nothing.
Yeah.
So they saved a lot of money there, but that's the
And
beauty
then,
of it.
and I heard someone say too, it's like you literally, the QR code took you to the product, like directly to the actual thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't
Not a landing page,
No.
not a other thing. It was like, like
It
here
went
it is.
straight to the product.
Not a coupon.
No.
Like Taco Bell and stuff, like they had all these, apps and stuff they wanted you to download. And you're like, what, for a coupon. That's
Yeah.
all it's for,
Yeah. Well, this is like straight up directly.
Genius.
Yeah.
What I love too is everyone talks about Super Bowl commercials as sort of, in advertising, it's sort of like that thing, it's sort of like making it to the Super Bowl, right? And But what I love about Coinbase is they did exactly what you're supposed to do, and that's sort of get attention, right? Stand out. And so the best way to stand out during the Super Bowl is to not do what everyone else is doing, which is, do big budget celebrity commercials, because after a while it just feels like you can't tell them apart. And so this was a great way to sort of, zag when everyone else is zigging, kind of thing, so, hats off to, I don't even know the agency that did it for them.
No idea.
You're like, that's one of those ideas. It reminds me of, remember when Google did the Super Bowl? This was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And it was like that. It was just the search queries, and they were like telling a story by what people were searching for. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it was during the Super Bowl, and it just stood out. Come to find out, it was like done internally. Like they didn't even hire an agency. I think they just sort of put it together internally. So there's, it's pretty amazing how they're able to pull these things off.
Yeah. And I've been hyping Coinbase up for a while now.
Yeah.
I just think, in this crypto space, like I do use like Binance and other stuff, a little bit, Robinhood, not too much, but Coinbase is just, I'm kind of all in on that platform for, as far as like for my investing, for, in sort of the crypto space, and the interface is awesome. The brand is awesome. Everything's just great. And I've been hyping up this Coinbase Card now for a few weeks.
Yeah. How is that?
And it's amazing.
How does it
so
work
essentially, if you go into your Coinbase account, there's a new tab. I think it's the last tab. It's a Coinbase Card, or you'll get a little banner somewhere that says like, get your card or something like that.
Okay.
Which is what I did. Essentially, it's just a debit card that they'll mail you. And I didn't think anything of it at first. Everyone does it, right? Like, we'll send you a card, load money onto it. Everybody wants to control those transactions, right? They want to be they want the money to run and flow through them.
Right.
But Coinbase's deal is, we'll give you 1% cash back for every purchase in Bitcoin. And I think you can choose other currencies as well.
Okay.
But I have it set to Bitcoin. So I basically just, I don't spend a lot, but mostly like eating out. You can't really pay your bills. Like, it's not that practical, but it's mostly like, going to go out and eat or little shopping here and there. I'll load the money and it's instant, and it goes right from your bank account. So I'll load whatever I think I'm going to spend, and then I use my Coinbase card, and then I get 1% back in Bitcoin, which is really not a lot, but if you're thinking long term, it's like mining in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Like micro mining or whatever. Like it's literally, I don't think I've earned any more than $10 at this point, but I haven't done anything but changed which card I use when I buy something.
And that's $10 you didn't have before.
And that's $10 of Bitcoin I didn't have. And right now it's at 42,000, whatever it is.
Right.
But if we're talking about Bitcoin in 10 years, because I hold everything. So if I'm talking about $10 worth of Bitcoin that I have today, what's it worth in 5, 7, 10 years?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're like, man, I remember the day when, I earned 1% from charging, and now it's worth whatever.
Yeah. Reminds me, there's that little, I don't know if it's a meme, but it's basically, it's a screenshot of some contest. It was like a talent show or something like that. And like first place was getting like $100. Second place was like $50. And like third place was like 25 Bitcoin.
Oh my gosh.
You could tell it was like, early, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like, if you do the math, you're like, okay.
Damn.
That's a chunk of change.
Yeah.
So it's sort of funny.
Yeah, it's like over $800,000.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's third place gets $1 million.
Yeah. No, and I get why people are anxious to have sort of these currencies more mainstream in terms of transacting at with merchants and stuff like that. I get that. But man, that stuff freaks me out because I buy it to hold it.
Yeah.
And the idea that I would buy it to just spend it makes no sense to me because I could just use money for that.
Right.
I'd rather own the asset and not touch it.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what it's going to be worth.
No.
Even if it's worthless later, it's just the idea that, you know, it could be worth much more. Plus, if you're diversified enough, some of it's going to be worth way more than what you invest in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to think that, you know, 5 years from now that, man, I bought a freaking Tesla. What did they sell? Whistle, you know, it's cyber whistle.
Yeah.
For 10 Doge or whatever it is, right? And then a Doge just blows up.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
I can't physically do it.
No.
But I get it because there's people that are. I mean, you're seeing all this stuff happening in Canada and some Latin American countries where the governments are meddling too much,
right?
And manipulating currency and blocking banks from letting you transact, things like that, where this sort of cuts all of that out.
Right. Right. I mean, here, you know, inflation's going up.
Yeah.
And that has to do directly with the money supply, right? That's the Federal Reserve. Yeah. That was all the aid programs that got put out. You can't just, you know, generate $5 trillion worth of credit without it affecting inflation, right? So that can be corrected, but it's not an easy process. Whereas, you know, with these cryptocurrencies, it's sort of, I see people kind of jumping to it, you know, and that's what's interesting too is, you know, there's sort of this double speak in a little bit because, you know, the cryptocurrencies call themselves currencies, right? But what's happening is they're sort of being looked at as securities, which are, it's like owning stock. And so there's very different rules, right? From like owning dollars versus owning a share. And so there's a sort of confusion like, when regulators come in, what are they going to act like? Are they going to act like it's a currency or are they going to act like it's a security? So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how that plays out because it'll affect how they're used, you know, and some of the red tape. Because like a security, if you're using it like under a year, you're holding a short position. I want to say like the capital gains is like 15% or more. So imagine like a 15% tax on every exchange, every purchase. That's just too much. So there's got to be ways. I mean, that would just cripple the market.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of figure out how are they going to treat it. They have to sort of treat it like a currency, but also like a security.
Yeah.
So anyway,
fun stuff.
That's crypto.
Yeah. And if you want to try out that Coinbase card, you can sign up for it immediately, and they'll issue you your card on the spot. So you obviously you get a physical card.
Yeah. With
the chip and everything. But
do you have?
You will get it.
Is there a friend code or is there a
Apple Wallet? There is if you're not on Coinbase, like a referral link.
You should put it in the.
Oh, okay.
Put it in the
see
video.
What you're doing here.
Yeah.
My Coinbase. Let's see.
Or we'll just put it in the description. On YouTube.
We will put it in the description. That sounds good.
Give Charlie some.
My referral.
A lift. Give him more than $10.
Referral credit. I think I get $5.
Give that up to 15.
Or it says get 10.
Oh, double it.
Get 10.
See?
Oh yeah, I don't want to say this. It's like a Hino Joe Y3A. You know, join. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah, I'll put it the link. That's a good idea.
That's good. And
it'll be $10 in Bitcoin for me and $10 for you.
Oh.
So.
Well, too bad I already signed up.
But the card, like I said, it'll show up on your Apple Wallet immediately. So
yeah, that's slick.
Check it out, and it's like instant. So if you need to load it, it's like your Venmo, Cash App. Yeah. No different.
Yeah.
Instant, available. I even got declined the other day because I forgot to load it.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I wish they had like an auto, like when you're running low, if you can set. Like add 100 or something,
or just auto.
Yeah, or auto replenish. It would be nice because I don't really check the balance because I don't use it that often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to pay at a restaurant which is very embarrassing, by the way. But luckily it was with my phone.
They didn't, they didn't bring it back in pieces.
No, you can play it off when you're doing Apple Pay, right? Like,
Right.
oh, I put the wrong code or whatever. Yeah, so I scanned the food, and the guy turns the iPad around, He's like, boom, and it says declined. So I'm like, oh, I forgot to load it. Anyways.
Well, speaking of which, I'll throw this out.
Yeah.
There was someone, I think it was on Reddit. Or here it is. Yeah. So there's some articles about how the Starbucks card, right? How it works. So you preload it with a balance and then it uses it. Well, apparently, like that amount just doesn't. It sits in an account at Starbucks. Like it's money that's in their account, and apparently it's, I think, over 1.5 billion.
They have just holding.
They're just holding it. So they're doing stuff with it. They're using it as capital, and getting loans against it. And so they're
That's interesting.
Yeah. So they're using it as like their own fund.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? So
And you know what you get in return? Because I never used to use it. I used to think it was dumb. I'm like, why would I keep reloading the card just to use it when I'll just pay with a card?
The points. Yeah.
It's the biggest hack.
Yeah.
I mean, you end up with. They absolutely do. Because there's no greater feeling than when you go to Starbucks and they're like, do you want to use your, and I'm like, what do I have? Oh, well, this one or this one's free, or you can get, you're like, free? What?
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
Or you get free coffee, like it just, it's really great.
Yeah.
And then mobile orderings just make everything's just easier.
Dude, you remember I called you, we had our meeting the other day and I was at Starbucks?
Yes.
You know how much my coffee was? Just guess.
How many coffees?
It was a venti. One venti.
One coffee.
5 shots.
If you paid more than $6 for that, I'm gonna slap you.
It was 7 something.
For a coffee.
For one.
At Starbucks.
Like, dang. Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah. So another quick story. So this morning I went and got a little pastry and a coffee at this little place called Redondo. Yeah. And anyway, you go in, and it was so funny because I was thinking like, okay, it's Redondo, it's like a little pastry shop. So I go in and I'm like, yeah, can I get a latte and a croissant or something like that? And they just kind of look at me and she just hands me a cup because it's just these like,
no,
you just push the thing down, the pumps. Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, okay. But I'll say this, it was pretty good coffee, but I was like, is this like, it was so quick. Like I was in and out of there in like a minute. Cause then I just paid with my phone. Mm-hmm. I was like, maybe this is a thing. So I had an idea. You ready for this?
All right.
You ready for this? So here in Southern California, we have a lot of burger joints.
Yeah.
Right. That have drive-throughs. Mm-hmm. Right. Sort of the charbroil little hamburger spots. There's tons of them. They're all privately owned. No big deal.
Brea is best.
Brea is best, right? I mean, does Choice Burger have a drive-through? I don't know if they do. No. But anyway, a lot of these places have them. And I had this thought. I was like, what if, because here's the thing. I'll say this. My bagel or my pastry and my coffee was like $6. So I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I spent $7 plus yesterday on one coffee. Mm-hmm. And here I got a, coffee and a pastry for less than that. So I'm like, okay, so maybe there's a play there, like a value proposition, right? It's just coffee. Like you don't always need all the espresso and all that stuff. So I was thinking like, what if you do like a ghost kitchen at these burger joints? Because they don't open till 11 for lunch,
usually,
right?
Mm-hmm.
And they all have drive-throughs. So what if you just do like a ghost kitchen type thing in the morning, and you do like standard coffee, you make it super basic, right? Like coffee, cream, sugar, choice of a couple pastries, and you just roll people through. And it's like it's like cheap, $5, like $5 flat for a coffee and a donut or whatever. Just make it too easy and too cheap to say no. Just just own that. Make them feel dumb for going to Starbucks. That's my thing. Like, because it's so silly. You're why? It's so artisanal. If you just say, you know what, we're gonna do this like old school. Like, I was like, man, but you need a drive-through, because even for this Redondo place, as cheap as they are, there's no way they're gonna do well, because at that price, they'd have to just have a line out the door. You know what I mean? So without a drive-through, you're screwed. So anyway, that's my idea. Wow. Hang on, we'll come out with we'll pivot. Yeah, we'll add it to the list. We got a lot of those.
Let's plow through this. Elon Watch.
What's the latest?
Elon Musk donated over $5 billion worth of Tesla stock to unnamed charity last year.
Wow. That's incredible.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money. To one charity. Or charity.
Unnamed charity. One charity.
Man.
It's undisclosed or unnamed.
Well,
I don't know, man.
Find out when they buy. When they buy a whole headquarters and
Yeah. But that, to me, man, it's like people like to, I don't know, they like to dog on him.
Yeah.
The guy has literally paid more taxes as a single human being.
Oh yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Like in the history of.
Yeah. What did 40 million last year, to the federal government?
More. Didn't he sell $5 billion to pay taxes?
At least, but I think he said he owed like 40 billion. Something ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, was it 4 billion?
Yeah.
Something like that. I forget.
But it's the most anyone's ever paid.
It's
and
crazy.
now this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, that's why the guy's winning, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's doing things, I don't even think he's controversial. He's just like a real dude, and people can't handle that. He just says.
He just doesn't care.
Whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Does whatever he wants.
Yeah. He really does kind of act without repercussions in that way. Like.
Yeah. In fact, I saw a video somewhere where someone they were talking about billionaires that are like getting older, and kind of this end of life, giving. A lot of them are starting to part ways with their wealth.
Yeah.
And I heard one guy say, I don't know that they named the person. I may have missed it, but this one billionaire told someone or somewhere said that he wanted to give his wealth to Elon.
Really?
And I was just like, I was kind of shook. And I thought about it for a second. I'm like, I might do the same thing. Think about it. Like when you donate to charity,
right?
Even though he's doing that,
right?
How much of it actually goes to the cause, right?
Right.
You never really know,
right?
But it's really, especially if you give a significant amount,
right?
Like a lot of people get make money off that. A lot of people get paid. A lot of nonprofits pad a lot of, they have a lot of luxuries, and so you don't really know where it's going.
Right.
know?
Right.
Not all of them, but I'm talking if you're giving like billions, right?
Yeah.
And if you're like last, I don't know, dying wish is to change the world, to see your wealth do something, why not put it in the hands of people that are actually changing the world? What's slowing Elon down right now besides time? Is capital. Yeah. Right? Now imagine just handing them billions, say go to Mars.
Yeah.
Go fix the tunnels. Go.
Yeah.
Like I'm 90. I'm gonna die soon. I don't need money, right? I don't need all this. I'm not gonna pass it down to my kids. Clearly these guys are thinking that way.
Yeah. I can see that.
Go do something revolutionary.
Yeah.
And put it in the hands of someone like that, or people like that.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. I'm like,
no, that's really interesting.
Crazy. Like,
he is worth what, 250 billion though, or something ridiculous.
Yeah, but
I don't even know that.
I know, but
so
he'd have to sell.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's
not liquid money.
It's not like in a bank account.
No,
like,
it's not sitting anywhere.
No.
That's the misconception people
don't
understand.
So speaking of Elon, so on my Elon watch. So there was an article that came out the other day saying how NASA is kind of scared that this SpaceX Starship might actually work. So he actually did a big press account.
SpaceX Starship might succeed.
Let's see it. It's kind of a funny article, but it really comes down to the fact that after the space shuttle program was...
No, it says reportedly horrified. Oh, man.
So what they're basically saying is that after the space shuttle program was shut down, NASA invested in a thing called the SLS. I forget what it is, something. But it looks kind of like a space shuttle, but it's not. It's this big ass rocket. It's got two stages on the side.
This thing?
No, that's the Starship.
Oh.
No, SLS looks like a dumb rocket. It doesn't look sexy at all.
Yeah.
It looks like it was put together with parts from the shuttle. Like it looks like that because that's what it is. Because they essentially what, and this is getting into, a little bit of the politics, but the way a lot of these programs work is that they'll spread out the development of, say, this a space program, and they'll have like stuff being built in like 25, 30 states, because every senator, in order to get them to vote for the budget, says, well, I want some work being done in Louisiana for no reason other than they want to green light it. So it's a little bit of, greasing palms that goes on. And so the SLS is a classic sort of thing. It's just, and it's been criticized. It's already like years past due and like 3 times the budget it was supposed to be. So it's looking like a complete waste. And so NASA's really scared because they're like, this thing's going to be taking off this year, this Starship. And they're like, if that happens, like it's going to make the SLS, which hasn't even gone off once. Like they're even delaying testing the thing. So they're like, we're just going to look like idiots.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's kind of interesting.
So I'll read the first sentence of the article. If Elon Musk is right, SpaceX is poised to become the most successful space flight organization ever, public or private, and its competitors, including NASA, are scared bleepless. And I'll say bleepless just for the kids out there. I mean, that you couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, it's kind of interesting.
Let's close this out. I see DeLorean here. Please tell me what this is about.
Click it, bro.
How do I not know this?
So this
DeLorean is coming back, and it's electric.
Yeah. Can you click it?
Yes. There it is. What is this? Is this a concept car, or is this the DeLorean Motor Company promising an electric DeLorean again for the 20th time? They've been saying this for 10 years. They have. So the headline like this means nothing to me.
Well, they bought a 15-second Super Bowl spot.
I missed it. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. You can watch it right there. See what you think.
We'll see.
For those who don't know, Charlie is a huge DeLorean fan. He's gonna look at that. Sizing it up.
That's it?
That was it. Yeah, do it again. In case you missed it.
Stop. The future was never promised. DeLorean Motor Company. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Come on, you want it. You don't even play.
No, you know what?
Don't even play.
The truth is, if I ever accomplish anything, all the stuff we're doing, we're almost middle-aged men.
Yeah.
I said this to my kids. I've stopped wanting a DeLorean. I don't know, maybe a couple years ago. And I said, what would be even cooler than owning a DeLorean, which I've always wanted, right, my whole life. If someone gifts it to me, that's a different story. I would love to make so much money later in my life to where I could just buy the company. Because the company is owned by a group, or got the feds,
like private equity or something.
Yeah, like it was seized by the feds.
That's right.
Right, so you can Google this. John DeLorean got, went to prison or whatever, or got
It's kind of a
got
setup.
caught with some, a
it's
little
kind
bit of a setup.
entrapment there.
But the company was eventually seized for fraud and all this stuff. And then it got bought back by some group or some investment. I don't know.
Yeah.
So they brought it back, but they weren't allowed to build cars.
That's right.
They can only build and
Parts.
manufacture parts for the existing cars.
Right.
And they can't even build a single DeLorean like on a factory.
Right.
But you can buy all the parts
And then make it yourself.
and then have someone
Right.
build it.
Right.
So you can drive a brand new 83, 84 DeLorean, brand new. But someone has to literally build it. So it ends up costing like 70 or 80 grand or more, which is just dumb.
Yeah.
So what do you think they've done with the brand, the DeLorean brand? Just the stupidest things, like a watch, like a DeLorean watch, or just like swag,
Right.
and
Put the name on it. Yeah.
and it's just bad swag, like not even cool, Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they've been talking about this electric car forever, which good luck. But anyways, I would love to buy that brand, that company, in my later years, and then actually do something cool with it, like like Tesla wasn't Elon's.
No.
He didn't start that from scratch. He bought it. He partnered up with some guys that were already doing it. So imagine resurrecting this thing like on the 100th anniversary of Back to the Future or something. Like that would be sick.
Dude, it's by the time they do it, it'll be the flying version.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right?
You're speaking my language.
All right.
Anyways.
All right,
Good
one more
stuff.
thing. One
All
more
right,
thing.
last
One more
thing.
thing. Moviepass.
Oh, Moviepass. How did we miss this? How did we miss this? Moviepass is back, folks.
It's coming back.
They survived. Actually, they tanked
Yes.
and then went into bankruptcy, and then through some fluke found out they could
Be bought back. Yeah.
So they did that,
Yeah.
and now they're using Web3 for their new app that's coming out in the summer.
Yes.
It's going to allow you to earn credits for movies.
Yeah, it'll be credit based,
Which
which makes a lot of sense because
yeah.
you can earn credit,
Mm-hmm.
right? And all this stuff. So it sounds like they're going to have a system that's a little more sustainable, but they didn't go into too much detail. Although, so I don't know if you've read any headlines, but we were watching it, remember?
Yeah, the keynote.
The keynote. And do you remember he was going into this thing about the facial recognition and watching ads and stuff like this? He just should have kept his mouth shut. He should have, honestly, it was a pretty bad keynote. Like
Yeah, it was horrible.
I mean, we've seen like brand new startups do better pitching than this because it was just it was weird. Remember in the
Super
beginning
weird.
too?
They started with the whole diversity thing.
Yeah, it just went.
Which is like,
yeah,
it's fine. You can bookend it with some of that.
yeah,
But it was like the elephant in the room is, you guys blew it. You
Yes.
guys failed.
right.
What are
do
you
you
bringing
got?
back? Well, yeah. And no, they took kind of like, I don't know, they kind of like danced around it and then slowly showed some stuff.
Right.
But it
then-
wasn't super clear.
Right. But then there's this whole thing about they got into this whole tangent, absolute tangent about, well, we're going to have ads on our platform, but they're going to be like video ads, right? But you have to physically be having, like, you have to have the phone on, like, staring at it, and it'll turn off if you look away.
Yeah.
Right? Well, the press was like, what are we talking about? Like, all of the thing was supposed to talk about this Moviepass, thing to watch movies, and everyone's like, this got really weird. Like, all of a sudden you're tracking my eye movements as I watch ads, and everyone got spooked. And so now the press is more about this weird view of dystopian advertising taking over versus what the actual press event was all about.
Super weird.
So it really got away from him. I don't know what. I hope it's, dude. You remember we turned it on, and we see the guy walk out on stage
in a black turtleneck.
Black turtleneck, right? Dark stage. Anyway, he's probably talking for a good minute, and we're like, "Oh, turn it up, turn it up." Nothing. And then this hand comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, the mic.
The guy runs on stage and like hands him a mic, and we're like, I was just thinking, I was telling Charlie, I was like, well, there went the stock. It was like,
Yeah.
we thought, oh, this could be, you know,
Yeah.
this could be a good thing. And all of a sudden, like
Tanked.
the mic not working, like
Yeah.
in your first 30 seconds of a company keynote. And it went down from there.
Hey, just kept going. Yeah.
There was even another point where like he was demoing something and he had like this arm outside, you know, like a podium. Just get a mic stand. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just bizarre.
Super bizarre.
Where they threw that together.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
here's
we'll
to
see.
hoping. Here's
I'm
hoping.
hoping just because we need that in our lives.
We do. We do.
I don't know if they're the ones to do it, but
Right.
they had some clout. The name was great.
Yeah.
People loved it.
Yeah. And they're trying this time. They're going to try to do like a crowdfunding
Yeah.
approach too.
Yeah, they are. They're going to
So-
send emails out. So
Yeah.
if you want to invest.
If you want to get on the sucker list with all of us,
Yeah, how much did we lose the first time?
all of it.
All of it? All $20?
Yeah. Remember we looked at my stock from the Matheson or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and it was like 0.005 cents.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not even
Basically zero.
a shilling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it's nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah. Wonder if it pays dividends. All right, that's all, folks.
Thanks everybody.
See ya. Shillings. They're like, hey, look, we're back.
I mean, I just all just tripped on stage.